Hey there, Luminary here, and it is the 13th of October, 2011. There's, again, nothing really important in the news today, but I did find something in the press releases dealing with an epic cluster release for Wurm Online, and I took a look at that, and it is another free-to-play subscription-based MMO, and it's free-to-play subscription-based as in like what WoW has done. You can only attain a certain level before you have to start paying for the game, but you have almost complete freedom until then, and that's really the only restriction. What really poses the question is how viable are sandbox open world games now, with everybody so used to things being on rails? For the fanboys of like EverQuest, who love the non-direction other than grinding monsters and doing stuff repetitively. And it's weird for me saying that too, because I used to speak so highly of EverQuest. But for those people, I imagine it would be something new to jump into. But there are so many MMOs out now. Most of them on rails. You just can't get off them, like Grand Chase. Oh my gosh. I mean, I got on that one and I was like, okay, cool. Enemy style arcade fighting. Let's do this. Hack, slash, bam, wham. Okay, great. And then it was the same thing over and over again. It was obviously blatant about it. And to make things worse, you only get like 3 characters to start off with. They're like 12, 13, 20, something stupid, some crazy amount of characters. But to unlock some of them, you have to go back and do certain achievements within the previous levels. Well, some of these achievements require you running the same level over and over again at a particular difficulty. And the drops at the end aren't exactly certain. I'm not okay with that. There was another game I wanted to try to get back into, and that was Mabinogi. That was kind of a lot of fun because it was open world. You could pretty much do whatever you wanted to. It was a virtual fantasy life. Like Wurm Online is supposed to be a mass multiplayer online simulator. Okay. Well, you know, yeah, you think of something like that, you think dot hack, and that is an MMO I would like to see, is a dot hack MMO. Not necessarily in the spirit or in the incarnation that it was given to us in the anime, but in the spirit of it, where everything was interconnected. Not with all the virtual reality helmets and stuff like that, but just with the way everybody reacted to each other, and how people got around, and how deep the story was. You know, it would be another JRPG, but what can you do, right? Well, what can you do in an open world game? Like Minecraft, for example. You jump into that, there you are. You're surrounded by blocks. You have to do something, or you die. And you don't know you're going to die until you die. Alright. Well, most sandbox games start out that way when it comes to survival. You know, I think when it comes down to it, it comes down to the imagination of the player playing the game. And it takes the imagination of one player to spread it to another player to really make the game worthwhile playing. That's why most of those games are played with more than one person. Have you ever tried playing Minecraft by yourself? It's entertaining up to the point where you stop caring. And that comes pretty quick, especially once you find everything in your world. What are you going to do? Start another world? The same thing with Terraria. With my buddy Drakeden, and I was thinking about doing something with him, but I haven't had time. Sorry, Drak. But we played Terraria, and we played on his world, and we did a lot of exploration, and I'd had to reset my character a few times due to this bug with the beds, where it would just corrupt the character, and there wasn't anything I can do about it. But it was a lot of fun. The problem was that Drak wanted to completely explore his own world, but we had already gotten everything we needed. We had blown through hell, and he wanted to go explore the jungle, and I'm like, okay, well, there's really nothing left in the jungle to explore. Nothing there that we need. Why would we even go there? You could go through there to get to the end, maybe try to, spawn a big monster like King Slime or something, but nothing. He had already gone through and destroyed most of a dungeon while I wasn't even online. I mean, I reaped the benefits of it, of course. The stuff that you didn't want, I got to take, which was great. But other than that, there wasn't really much beyond it. So you make your own adventure. And I can imagine coding for something like that has got to be insanely hard because, okay, we want this action to happen. Well, what are the results? Insert question mark here. You know, go traveling around the world, what are you going to run into? If you're going to stay at home and build stuff, what are you going to use to build with? All this stuff has to be taken care of. And, on the development side and on the player side, it seems overwhelming just because of all the newer games that we have out now that train us to press buttons during quick time events or look for the glowing green or glowing yellow signal to tell us to go places. I'm not exactly sure if we're really ready to go back to something like that. I know a lot of the old folks who really appreciated that kind of play style would gladly go to it, but they're sadly alone. I was looking at the Wurm Online website, and though it sounded like a great game, there was a total of 530 some odd players online at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. Okay. Well, that's spread over like 5 servers. 1 PvP, 1 trial, and the other 2 PvE, or one was a mix, I think. It just, I don't see myself, and that's another thing too, I don't see myself paying for another subscription-based MMO at all. Period. I wasted my time with WoW, I wasted my time with EverQuest, I've had my beta tests, and I did City of Heroes, Star Wars Galaxies, I did Anarchy Online, I did Astaria, Empires of Astaria, which was known as Horizons at the time. I did some weird assault game. I did PlanetSide. I've been in all kinds of beta tests. And I don't know. Some of those games I just wouldn't pay. I think it was City of Heroes was the one I paid for. And Star Wars Galaxies. But even then I was kind of shaky because they had it just about right in beta, and then they didn't heed our advice, which is why I will say Sony will take any MMO and bulldog them straight into the pavement. And that's also why I commend EverQuest for surviving the tide of times, because they're one of the few that have survived Sony's brutal takeover. So, yeah, I think that's all I'm going to talk on today. I released a thing that was just messing around, dealing with the Holy Code, and it's something I made up. I figured I would, but there's some truth in what I'm saying as far as what's going on between game developers and gamers. There's just a lot to say about it, I guess. Well, I think that's all I'm going to give you today. We'll see what happens tomorrow on Friday. I'm Luminary, and I'll see you next time.